What? I'm not ready. I'm not ready. I'm not ready. And you know what? One of these days, I'm actually going to act like I know what I'm doing half the time, which could happen anytime now. Hi, Peter. Hi, John. Hi, Elizabeth. It's good to see the three of you. I hope everybody is well, all of you who are watching right now, because guess what? It's Monday. It's 8 o'clock. And if it's Monday at 8 o'clock, then it is Mighty Monkey's Nerd World News. And I'm your host. My name is Buckaroo Banzai. With me is my co-host, Pretty Penny, and my good friend, Perfect Tommy. Guys, I hope you guys are doing all right. I hope you guys are doing well. The weekend was a beautiful weather weekend here in Rochester, New York. Hello, Kels. Hello, James. Good to see you guys on board with us.
We had up to 7. Oh, now we're back at
We're up
8.
to 8.
Woohoo!
Our all-time for the live.
It's like 15.
It's
16,
26.
26.
Is for the live.
Tell your friends.
Tell your friends, come watch.
30.
All right. So here we go. Sierra is here as well. Hello, Sierra. Let's jump right into the top story today. Brian, Michael Bendis. You know the name. You know the dude. He has gone to a story that I can't keep track of right now. There we go. All right. He has announced a multi-year partnership with Dark Horse Comics. All right. So superstar creator Brian Michael Bendis is embarking on a multi-year partnership with the Dark Horse. Earlier, Bendis announced his Jinx World imprint would also be moving to Dark Horse. This looked to be just the first step, as Bendis today announced he will be creating more titles for the publisher as part of a deal, including Joy Operations with artist Stephen Byrne. Although he broke into comics in the early 1990s, it was 2000's Ultimate Spider-Man that put Bendis on the map. From there, he followed it with a legendary run on Daredevil, as well as Alias, which brought the comic world Jessica Jones. Bendis would go on to work the Avengers, X-Men, Moon Knight, and the Guardians of the Galaxy before moving to DC Comics in 2018. While at DC, he oversaw Superman, as well as the Legion of Superheroes. He currently chronicles the adventures of the Justice League. In addition to his work for Marvel and DC, Bendis has also had an incredible body of creator-owned work, including Powers, Jinx, and Scarlet. Now, Bendis has partnered with Dark Horse Comics not only to bring Jinx World to the publisher, but to bring fans new creator-owned work, starting with his Joy Operations. Dark Horse Comics released a YouTube video featuring Bendis discussing his new deal with the publisher. Bendis started by announcing the partnership and how thrilled he was to be working with Dark Horse. Bendis stated he had been a fan of the publisher from the beginning and expressed admiration for some of their key titles, including Sin City, Concrete, Grendel, and Black Hammer. He feels these titles inspired everyone to work harder and up their creative games. He then talked about Joy Operations, a new title he created with Stephen Byrne. Set in the future, the book tells the story of corporate-owned cities called trusts. Joy, the book's protagonist, is an envoy in this world, a world Bendis feels is coming one way or the other. Bendis praised his artistic collaborator as well, stating that many narrative choices were based on Byrne's style. Bendis feels that this is Byrne at his best. Joy Operations will be on sale in print and digital November 17th. The news comes as several writers and artists are announced that they're leaving the Marvel and DC worlds to focus on their creator-owned content. For 35 years, Dark Horse Comics has brought readers legendary and groundbreaking comic books such as Sin City. It has also built a reputation as a creator-friendly company, a fact Bendis notes. Now the publisher has given Brian Michael Bendis and his collaborators a platform to tell the best stories of their careers. Watching the video, it is clear Bendis is happy to be part of Dark Horse Comics. This is definitely going to be something worth keeping an eye on. Now, friends and family, as we jump over. Hey, Jeff, good to see you. Hello, Ann. Good to see you as well. I'm going to...
Perfect. Ann's here.
Ann's here. Yep. We're going to slide the camera over so that Mr.
And I will move up
And you'll move
in,
up.
in this one.
All right, because guess what? It's time for Comic Chicks. Oh, wait. Hey, James. You and
Yes.
a little something. We have an alternative logo. Boom. There it is, kids. This is the first time Tanya is seeing it. It's Ann and Tanya fighting over Grogu.
He's mine. He's mine. Mine.
So,
That's cute.
thank you, Pemmy. We appreciate the artwork, brother. All right. So now we're on to Comic Chicks. Tanya, tell us what's going on here. Hang on just a second. Let me go ahead and move that script over so you can see it a little bit better.
Okay.
And we are on to our first title of the week.
Flash number 773, On the Loose and Bent on Destruction. Heatwave's return couldn't come at a worse time for Wally West. Now that one-time Kid Flash has retaken the mantle of the fastest man alive, he's also taken a new job at Mr. Terrific's Holt Industries. But all of that gets put on the back burner when the Flash must outrace the flames of one of his greatest foes and figure out why the once reformed Rogue has gone bad again. Interesting. Ooh, that's a cool cover.
I say your
I know my
cool
qualifiers are cool covers. I didn't really see the Flash one, but I see that one. Noctera number 6 from Image Comics, Full Throttle Dark, Part 6. You've seen the calm. Now it's time for the storm. Having unearthed a shocking revelation, Vale must prepare for battle before she loses the paradise that she's risked so much to find. Dun, dun, dun. Boop. Radiant Black number 7. Kind of has like a Voltron,
doesn't it?
Type to it.
Kind of had a cool vibe to it.
Yeah. New story arc. Picking up from the amazing ending of issue number 5, the life of Image Comics hero Radiant Black has just gotten a whole lot more complicated. Pursued by a new enemy and not sure who to trust, will our hero escape with his life? Or is this the beginning of the end for Radiant Black?
And last but not least for the week,
Spider-Woman number 14. Kicks a major rear end.
See, I thought you'd like that one.
Yeah. Did you think that just because there were some done in one crazy action issues that this arc wasn't serious? You, my friend, would be wrong, as this issue picks up all the Kaiser Soze clues we've been leaving around and slaps you in the face with them. All we can say without spoiling more is that Jessica Drew is in for the fight of her life, and you do not want to miss it.
And that's our comic chick action for the week. Hang on just a second. Let me slide
Doug
that
says, I'm seeing Bendis' head on time.
Yeah. Doug is good at making silly comments about things that he didn't need to worry about.
And I'm like behind the screen, so I have to go like this.
Yeah.
So.
See, if I did this, then you'd see the whole thing.
Yeah.
Right. So, but I'm trying to do editing different because I can't control these slide sizes. I'm noticing, but you know,
no.
There you have it.
I was able to. I moved them over in center.
So Peter is focusing, as he always does, on Doctor Who information. Guess what? Any front runners named to be the new Doctor Who once Jodie leaves. As per usual, my friend, I am hearing all sorts of back chatter by people who are completely unreputable sources. And so there's nothing right now. BBC is holding it very close to the vest, especially because they need a new showrunner as well, since Chris Chibnall has elected to step down. So, you know what? I see Elizabeth Rice saying, to be honest, I hope they can get her through her last season this year before they announce her successor. I'd love to see Olivia Colman. I don't think, I think Olivia Colman at this point is better in other parts. She's an amazing actress, but at this point, I think she's too much for Doctor Who.
She was also in Broadchurch, right?
She was in
the
Broadchurch.
Other detective.
She's done a lot of really great work. She was in the Crown. She's done so much, and she actually played a part in Matt Smith's first 11th Hour.
Oh.
You know, and she played the part of the villain at the end. So Olivia Colman, awesome choice as an actress. However, I don't think she's right to be the Doctor.
That's your opinion.
And that's my opinion. You know, well, and who's ever listened to me? Nobody.
Not very many.
All right.
She's like, yeah, haha.
She was one of the Prisoner Zero's faces. Yes.
I'm not there in my reboot of
So we're
Dr.
gonna
Who.
jump. We're gonna jump off the rails of the Doctor Who news, and we're gonna jump over to our Patreon.com. What is Patreon? Patreon is a chance to go ahead and sponsor us and support us and help us do the things that we do in terms of Mighty Monkey and all of the multimedia stuff that we do. Every so often, you're gonna get to see my buddy here, James Irish, on his blog. The blog's on hiatus at the moment, which is cool. But James, you're here on board right now to talk a little bit about some of the things that you are working on. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to remove myself, and you, my friend.
Well, this Thursday is going to be a little different for Gaming Street Irregulars since Chrissy is smack dab in the middle of moving, and I was stuck either going solo or just not doing that particular podcast this week. So I decided I would do a little format experiment instead of just taking the week off. It's not going to be terribly long since it is only me, and I can only go so far without someone to bounce dialogue off of, as proven by my broadcasts right here on Nerd World News. And the bulk of it is going to be a short review of a game I've sunk almost 160 hours into, Gemcraft Chasing Shadows, which you can see right there. That will all be going live at the usual time on Thursday. Then, on Friday, the Pemmy and James Cartoon Podcast will be taking a look at the newest HBO Max animated series, Jellystone. Yes, the exclamation point is required. C.H. Greenblatt, the creator of the Cartoon Network hit Chowder, revives Yogi Bear, Huckleberry Hound, Top Cat, Jabberjaw, and dozens more of Hanna-Barbera's extensive back catalog of characters, and puts them all in the same town and just lets the chaos ensue. We'll break down a pair of misadventures featuring flamethrowers, dance-offs, bow ties, coconuts, stolen bumper cars, and orbital bombardment. And I promise that will all make something resembling sense within context. So join us on Friday as we go to town and witness its destruction over and over and over again. Chris, back to you.
That's awesome. Great job, James.
I have a quick question for you, James. The Gem game, is that PC?
That is PC. It's on Steam.
Okay. Very cool.
I
Good
would
to
have
know.
to get a Steam account.
Yeah.
But it looked really cool. It kind of reminded me a little bit of the War Song game from the Sega and Fire Emblem with like moving stuff with the boxes and things like that. So
Sega! Had to
it's
do it.
Sega.
All right. So there was a question from Sierra. Random question. People keep asking me if it's SC3 or FC5 or FCC because people keep confusing me. I always call it FC3. It has always been FC3. That was its first nickname. It is, as Elizabeth points out, the Flower City Comic Con. So 3 C's. So hence, instead of saying FCCC, we just started calling it FC3 right off
It was
the bat.
FC cubed in our very first set of
Yep,
videos
yep.
with the girls. It was like, what's FC cubed? And they're like, no, it's FC3. So,
And we actually had a running gag in the background because we were planning on doing a flash mob kind of a choir thing where people get together and sing like little parody ditties and whatnot. And so that would have been the FC4, the Flower City Comic-Con Choir. So
next.
I thought that was clever.
Next.
Come on, that was clever.
Next.
You have no taste. You know that?
You're right.
I'm just telling you right now. James will be right back with you. All right. You got no taste whatsoever. Look at that. Wear a mask in public like it's hard. All right. Where did my storyboard go? Oh no, something bad has happened. Hang on just a second. All right, I'm gonna fix this. I don't know how, but I am. Just a second here. There it is. I see it. Okay.
It disappeared for a second.
I seriously need a third monitor. That's amazing. I'm just gonna say that right now.
I have your third monitor. Oh no, I took it back to work.
Yes. All right. So boom, Daredevil. Why is Daredevil up? Give me just a second and I will tell you. Marvel has announced Daredevil's final issue. Marvel Comics is bringing one of its most critically acclaimed series to an end. Having previously announced the end of Immortal Hulk, Marvel confirmed on Monday that Daredevil will conclude with its 36th issue. However, this will not be the end of writer Chip Zdarsky's tenure with the character, according to a press release. And the series is going out with a bang. The issue will see Wilson Fix. All of a sudden, I cannot speak English anymore. Let me try that sentence again. The issue sees Wilson Fisk, the kingpin of crime, and Typhoid Mary getting married, But of course, no Marvel Comics wedding goes down as planned. Zdarsky is joined by Manuel Garcia on this final issue of the series. Plus, there's also the small matter of deciding who will carry the Daredevil mantle going forward, Matt Murdock or Elektra Natchios. Per Marvel Comics, over the last 2 years, superstar writer Chip Zdarsky has teamed up with artists such as Marco Cicchetto, Manuel Garcia, and more to take Daredevil, one of the hottest books, up out of the stands. Throughout his groundbreaking work on the character, Zdarsky has delivered the most surprising era of Daredevil yet, including fascinating developments like Matt Murdock's imprisonment, Kingpin and Typhoid Mary's dangerous new relationship, and of course, Elektra taking over the mantle of Daredevil. And after 36 hard-hitting issues, Daredevil's legacy as the protector of Hell's Kitchen will never be the same. This November, Zdarsky's legendary run will reach its climax in an explosive final issue, but his acclaimed Daredevil saga is far from over. In the press release, Zdarsky says, "I know writers like to say things like it's all been building towards this, but really it actually has. When I sat down to write the issue, I knew this was going to be waiting, and it was going to drastically alter the lives of the Daredevil cast. Issue 36 is not an ending, it is a beginning." Marvel promises that the must-have special Daredevil number 38 will have all of the revelations fans have been waiting for when it releases on November 17th. Marvel also teases that more announcements are coming as Marvel approaches its birthday celebration with new projects and creator announcements still to come. What would you think? Who will be Daredevil going forward? Will Kingpin and Typhoid Mary actually get married? What's next for Zdarsky's Daredevil run? Let us know in the comments. Daredevil 36, excuse me, there was a typo. I didn't mean to say 38, I meant to say 36. But Daredevil number 36 goes on sale, as I mentioned a moment ago, November 17th. And why is James Gunn right about theaters versus streaming? This is something we've kind of talked about on the Monkey Business podcast. Maybe we've covered that ground with you, Billy and Dan. Probably. You don't remember. But moving on, James Gunn is exactly right when he says big streaming releases aren't a huge problem because movies last, because people can watch them at home, not just in theaters. The coronavirus pandemic threw the movie industry into disarray, further shifting big movie releases like Suicide Squad away from the big screen and onto streaming. While theaters and the big screen will always be a fixture in movie-going culture thanks to the shrinking box office, they won't always be the biggest place to see movies. The advent of streaming and especially the growth in big-budget streaming releases like Tomorrow War and Army of the Dead, combined the shortened theatrical exclusive windows and has created a lot of conversations about big screen movies versus small screen movies, which in most cases is mostly an arbitrary point. Movies are movies. While bigger screens are louder and sound can certainly elevate a movie, the line between movies made for theater and movies made for home viewing isn't nearly as clear as it used to be in the days where non-theatrical films were almost all low-budget, straight-to-be movies. Man, I am just not speaking English today. I am tripping.
You're struggling.
I'm struggling today.
You're very struggling.
I am very struggling today. Anyway, I'm going to wrap this one up, and then we'll see if I can get off the struggle bus somewhere along the line tonight. The post-pandemic reopening of movie theaters and same-day streaming releases has changed the way we see theatrical releases, with some movies intended for blockbuster theatrical experiences being viewed primarily by huge audiences at home as the box office struggles to recover. Studios like Warner Brothers say they're returning to theatrical exclusive releases in 2022, but the streaming shift won't totally go away, especially with shorter exclusive windows, meaning the way we consume movies as a culture will probably never be the same ever again. But in some ways, it could still be the same as it ever was. Same as it ever was. Same as it ever might. So anyway, the biggest elephant in the room with this topic is, in fact, that the ticket sales were already drying up, and they had been for some time. While box office revenue has increased for some studios in recent years before the pandemic, a number of tickets being sold every year has actually been in decline for 2 decades, with theater attendance hitting an all-time low in 2017. The box office was being held afloat by price increases, which isn't a viable long-term solution. The decline started before the advent of streaming, but the increasing availability of inexpensive quality streaming TV and movies at homes has surely made an impact. It's likely started with TV screens getting bigger and cheaper, and home video being available on high-quality formats at video rental stores in the late 90s, with the share of screen time at home only increasing yearly, leading into the streaming boom. Not only is streaming growing in popularity with theaters while theaters are shrinking, but streaming is far more profitable, especially for studios with their own streaming platform. Disney's industry record-shattering box office performance in 2019 brought the company just over $11 billion, with Disney movies accounting for 80% of 2019's biggest hits. But those heights are hard to achieve on a yearly basis due to release schedules of big blockbuster IP franchises. With the stars aligning in 2019, so 7 of Disney's movies, Captain Marvel, Avengers Endgame, Aladdin, The Lion King, Toy Story 4, Frozen 2, and Star Wars, The Rise of Skywalker, grossing over $1 billion, and Avengers Endgame setting the all-time record at $2.8 billion on its own. Meanwhile, Netflix's yearly revenue first eclipsed $11 billion in 2017 and has only grown since, posting nearly $25 billion in revenue in 2020. Disney Plus revenue, of course, exceeded the pandemic box office in 2020 and won't only do so again in 2021, but also exceed its record in 2019 box office all as well. So we're just going to cut through to the end here.
There's a lot of
there was a lot of other
on the
information here, and I'm still on the struggle bus. There was a time when theaters were the only place that people could go see the movies. But the ability to watch, rewatch, pause, rewind, and truly pore over films at home redefined many people's relationships to the cinema. Falling in love with the larger-than-life stories at home. While the theatrical experience may never return to what it once was, the home viewing experience will always be the primary way audiences build and maintain relationships with their favorite movies. That's something to discuss, and it looks like Elizabeth is discussing it. Hang on just a second here. Let's click on that. I'm not a fan of pay more than you already pay for the service model, but I do like the option of it being included, to be honest. If I still barely remembered to watch the new Space Jam before it left HBO Max yesterday, and it only did one rewatch in the Heights before it left as well, though I did make a point to see that in the theaters. First one I saw in the theater since 2020. And she goes on to say, I do recommend seeing Jungle Cruise. Tanya and I actually watched that the other night. We saw it on
Friday, yeah.
On the big screen, if you can, though. Very awesome movie. And I'm now curious what The Rock would do in the role of the Doctor.
I don't know. I mean, we saw it on Disney Plus on Friday night. And
we watched it at home on the big 50. So, wow, there's timing for you.
Yeah.
All right. So let's see. While we're done with that, boom! Oh, look at that! It's birthday time. Hang on just a second while
you lost your birthdays.
I lost my birthdays. I do that a lot. So let's just jump into birthdays, but that's definitely a topic worth discussing in the future. All right. So here we go. Boom.
Is that mom calling you?
Nope.
Oh.
Monday, August 16th, we're going to say happy birthday to Madonna, Steve Carell, James Cameron, and Harry Potter alumni Ivana Lynch. On Tuesday, August 17th, we say happy birthday, Robert De Niro and Sean Penn. Wednesday, August 18th, Robert Redford, Christian Slater, Edward Norton, and Madeline Stowe. That's going to be a good day. And on Thursday, the 19th, happy birthday, John Stamos. Happy birthday to bass player John Deacon, Adam Arkin, and Erica Christensen. On Friday, the 20th, we say happy birthday, Demi Lovato, Amy Adams, Andrew Garfield, and Robert Plant. Saturday, August 21st, we're going to say happy birthday to Bo Burnham, Usain Bolt, Hayden Panettiere, and Kim Cattrall. And rounding out our week of birthdays on the 22nd, we say happy birthday to local legend, local girl, Kristen Wiig, James Corden, Tori Amos, and from Tears for Fears, Roland Orzabal. If it is your birthday this week, my friends, I hope you have a great one. I hope you get a chance to share it with friends and family. So that's that. So wait, what? I see a finger up. Hang on, just give me a minute. I'm trying here. I'm working on this. What, James? How can I help you?
As much as people talk about The Rock being the star of the Jungle Cruise, the real highlight is the eighth wonder of the world, the backside of water.
The backside. It was like, what?
It was a fun movie.
It was a really fun movie.
Yeah, backside of water though.
We had a good time with that.
What I wanted to let people know is if you have signed up or applied to be a volunteer, you will be getting an email probably end of this week, at the most end of next week, with information on what your job duties are going to entail, who your job supervisor is going to be, because I'm only overseeing one part. Chris is overseeing one part.
Mhm.
We're the board is splitting based on what our normal job responsibilities are for the con weekend. So
Right.
panels would go to Chris, vendor floor goes to Brian, box office goes to Sybil, which we have to let Sybil know.
Yeah.
Guests go to me, etc., etc. Dan oversees everybody, but we're going to make sure that he's resting and relaxing that weekend and not running around like a madman. So if
Right.
you have to see Dan running around like a madman,
It's probably to the bathroom, so leave him alone.
yes, make sure that he's good. So that will be coming. Also, the panel schedule is in process.
Version 1 is probably going to be published later this week, to be honest, so you guys can start seeing what we're got in mind for programming this time around. And so I think that's pretty much it. James, you got anything else? Any last licks?
Nothing there.
You young lady?
No, but we have some comments.
I can't keep going back to those, though. All right. Can you smell with a rocket cookie? Elizabeth Rice says, I feel bad for my mom. Hang on. Where the hell did that comment go? There it is. Feel bad for my mom. Went through. She hates bees, and I had no idea about the.
Oh, I know.
Sierra is saying I still got to get tickets. Yes, tickets can be. You can buy them online right on our website,
Or you can go to your local comic book store and get paper tickets, or get them at the box office that day.
Get them at the back office.
At the back of the
Can
box
I
office.
please end this broadcast so I can go take a nap? For James and for Tanya, for Ann and for Dan, for Brian and for everybody in between. We miss you. We love you. Really?
Yes.
I'm struggling here and you keep doing that?
We love you, T.
I'm fired. Good night.